So I'm never actually going to catch up on the news because we live in very interesting times. And I'm just one person who already does a bunch of other stuff. In the last 2 weeks, we've had 21 mass shootings, a late-night host get canceled and reinstated, China developed a bone glue that can be used without surgery, and famous activist Jane Goodall died. But I bet there's a topic I can cover that will be evergreen for possibly the next 37 months. You probably keep hearing the term executive order from the news if you live in the US. If my demographics are reliable, that's actually only like 30% of you. If you don't live in the conjoined quinquintuplets of the Earth, here's a quick rundown. The first 3 articles of the US Constitution grant Congress the power to make laws, the executive branch the power to enforce laws, and the judicial branch the power to make sure that the first 2 are acting within those laws as well as the Constitution. Where does an executive order fall under this? Executive orders are given by the current president in order to better direct how those laws might be executed. Executive, executed, see the parallel? Really, it is the equivalent of Alamar and Pickman. The president uses these orders to tell their administration if they should be thinking about a certain rule or prioritizing a certain aspect at the moment. What's the catch? These aren't laws, they're directions. They only apply as much as they operate inside the rules of the government as well as, reality. I said before that Congress passes and turns bills into law. An executive order doesn't skip this step and make the president's whims into a new law. You can't use an executive order to make new laws or statutes, but you can use them to tell people how they should be enforcing or implementing that statute, within the bounds of reality, of course. You can also prioritize certain cases for the judicial department, like, let's say a guy was funneling money to his best friend so that he can do unspeakable horrors to children. No. Or maybe they openly attempted to usurp the rule of democracy and topple the peaceful transfer of power. There we go, that's better. The president could sign an executive order saying that prosecuting this person and putting them behind bars was a top priority. I imagine if you didn't, you'd have to be the lowest form of fool to just let someone like that walk around and not live the rest of their days under lock and key being paraded as the modern-day Benedict Arnold. It's also written in the Constitution that you can't use these to circumvent checks and balances. That only means something if the other branches do their job and stop you from doing so. Executive orders can be kinda slow, however. Some take effect immediately, some require specific departments to do some research, write out a detailed report, make an announcement to the public saying that they're making the changes. You can put a rush on these orders and issue a decent answer within a deadline, but some of these things can take months to years depending on what needs to be done. I'm not going to make a cure to cancer in 2 months, but with these budget cuts, I'm probably not making one at all. So it's funny, you can actually run back executive orders in a few ways. So Congress can pass a law that just nullifies or undoes whatever that order was trying to do. A court can review them and say, yeah, that's illegal. Or my favorite, where the next guy can just walk in and write out your order. No, really. A future president can just walk in and say, no, that one didn't count to whatever the order you wrote. I know I'm griping and groaning about executive orders, but they can be used for some good. So the Emancipation Proclamation was an executive order. Lincoln saw that the war was starting to turn in their favor, and in a political move, made it about freeing the enslaved in order to place himself unconditionally on the right side of history. Lyndon Johnson gave an executive order saying that federal contractors and their constituents had to obey civil rights for their workers. What a great move. I can only imagine the great things that came from... Oh, Trump reversed that in the first week of his second term. Nice. That's right. In the first 7 days, he said that civil rights no longer apply to federal contractors. That sounds like something a festering cyst of evil would do. But what do I know? You can also do awful things within the power of the law with an executive order. Like when Franklin Roosevelt signed an order to force Japanese Americans into concentration camps because they might be enemies of the state. Boy, forcing people into camps and prisons on a whim. I sure hope that never happens again. It's funny, Donald actually broke the previous record holder for the most orders in their first 100 days, which was previously 99 by Franklin Roosevelt. You've all been good listeners so far. Let's go over some of these orders by the current administration. Ending the weaponization of federal government. Okay, how's that holding up? Initial rescissions of harmful executive orders and actions. Remember how I said you could just come in and wipe out the previous guy's stuff? Yeah, this is that. Restoring freedom of speech and ending federal censorship. If this one is actually holding up, I should be able to say as many insults as possible in this video and not have to worry about it impacting my life at all. Not that I was worried in the first place. Ending radical and wasteful government diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and preferencing. This one actually got blocked in a court, and the Supreme Court has continued to block it because it doesn't mean what most people think it does. When people say diversity, equity, and inclusion, I always say the full thing, they actually mean something else. Please refer to my video about arguing with fascist.
I've seen this clip.
Your feelings are really valid right now. Hey, I know what you're feeling, and it's so valid.
Protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship. So this was the one that would try to end birthright citizenship, which is stupid and could not be implemented in any way that would not either ruin the country or be tilted in a massively racist fashion. This is a highest level Jim Crow ruling, and the courts said no. Defending women from gender ideology extremism and restoring biological truth to the federal government. So it's funny. As a fat guy with awful golf game, he actually has no power over this as opposed to like a scientist or a doctor, and that's why the court blocked this one too. Gender is a topping on a pastry. No matter what type you are, no one can tell you how to dress yourself. Reevaluating and realigning United States foreign aid. This one was somewhat blocked because it would literally be cruel to stop giving some countries what could amount to pennies a day to stop plagues and stamp out hunger. Ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity. This was another one attacking diversity, equity, and inclusion, where it sounds like it would help, but it just gets rid of previous civil rights orders. I hate hearing the shorthand for that phrase. You know what it means. You know what they want to say.
But I want you to know that you're valid and I can hear you, even though I'm not listening to you at all.
Oh my, just call me a Nick.
Prioritizing military excellence and readiness. This was the no transgender individuals in the military, which is stupid and a civil rights violation, so the courts blocked it. Protecting children from chemical and surgical mutilation. This was another I hate transgender people order that got blocked in court. Also, this never happens. There are so many hoops you need to jump through and so much balancing that goes into giving someone hormones. I know someone in pharmacy department that literally looks at profiles and endocrine numbers to meter out the right dosages. Nobody goes to a hospital to get mutilated. He actually signed a ton of other orders that were about stopping drug trafficking from north and south borders, all of which got blocked in court because they would be considered a massive waste of money. It's impressive how someone who speaks with such confidence about something they know nothing about. I said before that drug trafficking usually comes from US citizens and not migrants crossing legally or illegally. We're reaching a point where truth doesn't really matter anymore, though. Research and diligence be dashed. We live in a world of convenience where lies are simply handy since seeking out the truth is so troublesome. Whatever. I might have it in me for a briefing on the National Security Presidential Memorandum No. 7 at some point. I feel like somebody should be talking about it.